Welcome everyone to the Winter 2018 Division 6D Championship. Guys, this is the first 6D championship ever played. Happy to be making history here. I am Pease Delarice, joined by my podcast member in crime, Simon Dagenet. So, we've talked about this division all season long. It comes down to Sick-Bic. It comes down to Air Force One. Two of the teams we predicted to be here are here, as well as this entire team, as you're seeing on your screen, cameramen, production staff, and so on. They're enjoying this day, of course, much more than we are, because if we're here, what does that mean, Simone?
That means that we're working and they're not.
And we're not playing.
We're working for them. But we also don't play in Division 6D, so technically we could
I could have been playing in the next hour in the Division 6 game. But
let's be real.
That wasn't going to happen.
That would not happen.
No, of course not. But look, this is what we wanted, right, in Division 6D.
It's the two best teams facing off each other. It's the two teams that were the most dominant all season. It's the two teams that we expected to make it all the way here. So it's the best of the best, basically. And
these are two teams, not a ton of FPF experience. They haven't really seen sort of all the pageantry.
That's sort of the best part of it, though.
Yeah.
The fact that these two teams are brand new. It's sort of their first season. Air Force One, they don't. Everybody on these teams, there's a few exceptions, but most of these guys never played FPF before, show up, do their thing, and they're able to make the finals and enjoy the full package. It's amazing for them. And this is what we wanted in Division 6D. We wanted either teams that had really struggled in Division 6 in the past, give them a chance to develop. That's what the D stands for. It doesn't stand for anything else. Or does it?
Or teams like this, Air Force One, Sick-Bic, new rosters, new teams, a lot of new players in the division.
We don't know how good you guys are if you've never played it before. You could have played elsewhere, you could have played football at some point, but tackle football is not flag football.
And that's the case for Air Force One coming in. We spoke to their coach, their tackle football coach, Alex David, who had nothing but glowing things. And the thing that I most appreciated was not all the things you had to say about their playing ability, but really he just continuously talked to me about how much they're all a bunch of stand-up guys.
They're all very good people on and off the field, and that's what makes us like Air Force One so much, is they're very good players. It's fun to watch, but on top of that, they're good guys. You want them to succeed. You want to be their friends.
Sick-Bic is a team I sort of questioned at times. I said, you know what, I don't know if this offense can really translate in the playoffs. And they faced some tough defenses. We saw them beat Green Monster in the last round. We saw them beat Broke Boys in the game before that. So truly impressive. And now they face, would you say, their toughest challenge in Air Force One?
Definitely. Well, it's not just the fact that it's the toughest challenge, because I think the way the Sick-Bic style, it was the toughest challenge, would have been the worst matchup for them was Green Monster. But with the whole finals on top of that, facing probably the best team in the division, Air Force One, the pressure of this game is bigger than the one against Green Monster. Yep,
and they beat them. They beat Green Monster in the last round of the playoffs.
Yep.
Score is 25-17.
Yep.
Not particularly close. Even though the score was close, not particularly close. Same thing with Air Force One and their previous matchup against Quackers. Air Force One actually said their toughest matchup of the playoffs was against Sunday Touch Boys, a team that you and I spotlighted early.
Yep.
But able to get by that matchup and make it to the finals. I was saying hi to referee-in-chief Leo Gervais. That's part of FPF Roadshow, right?
It's part of the Roadshow. It's part of the whole production thing. Is people come in and out. These guys we haven't seen in a while. We're all happy to see everybody's faces. We hope we get more players, referees, fans show up in the stands. There's a lot of room. We'd like to see you guys here.
Also, we haven't seen them in a while because we've been eliminated.
We also we're not very good. So
yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. That's what happens. It looks as though the refs have set the bags, and we will see Sick-Bic start with the ball.
Yep.
Sick-Bic now wearing their black unis. I didn't know they had two uniforms, but smart. They don't want to wear disgusting pennies. They usually wear white.
Really? I thought last time I saw them they were in green.
I've seen them three. Oh, it's green unis. I've seen them play 3 times.
I keep forgetting your colorblind.
Yeah,
I saw them in the playoffs in their first round, and they were the green jerseys.
I watched them play 3 times. Each of the 3 times in whites, in the Loyola whites.
Maybe it wasn't white.
Maybe. But we see Mitch Fergenbaum getting ready to take his first snap. He gets it. Ball slightly low, but looks to deliver a deep ball. It is thrown. It's out of reach. Just out of reach of Rabinovich. Adam Rabinovich, as he's making his way deep to the opposite corner of the end zone.
So this is the thing about Sick-Bic we've talked about on the podcast a lot, is this offense, every single receiver could run 40 bombs and just burn a defender. And that's what we saw right here. We expect Benji Siegler to see the most of the production, but he wasn't the first guy to get. He didn't get the first target, and that could have been a huge play for Sikbik.
But Adam Rabinovich, 24 catches, 297 yards, 10 touchdowns in the season. So
solid season.
Just a guy we haven't talked about a ton, but he is just as good. He is a fantastic receiver. Feigenbaum rolls to his right. It is caught on the sideline. Great catch by Max Dayan.
This is the Sikbik offense. Everybody's good. Everybody could produce, and they go to one guy, they switch. They could go to all 5 receivers on 5 different passes, and they're all going to be productive.
The referee indicates it is first down, 1st and 10 for Sikbik. As Air Force One continue to communicate and try and make some quick adjustments. We see an odd matchup on Ziegler on the outside. Receiver playing really inside shade, staring him down. But Feigenbaum rolls out once again, connects with Dayan, but he juggles,
Ooh.
and drops.
That could have been that could have been turnover. The ball was right there. The defender wasn't looking at the ball. He was looking at the player. But that could have been an interception due to the whole juggling. Yeah, there was the weird matchup to see the defender line up inside shade on Benji Ziegler, but it worked out because he tried to run the pick on the slant underneath, and it didn't work out because the defender was right there. So I guess he knew things that we don't.
Yeah, and that's look, what it is, I guess, is they really don't want him running the fade down the sideline.
Well, no, that's the other thing. They give up the sideline, but they don't want him to come across and get guys involved on top of that. So they're giving up the sideline to allow him to not go inside.
Ziegler moved to the slot. The defender follows him. Ziegler runs sort of corner post, but Feigenbaum's running to his left. He tries to hold the flag to his side, but it still became unclipped. Deflagged by Edward Arsenal.
I mean, that would have been a sick hold your own flag, keep running kind of thing.
A Sikbik hold your own flag, keep running.
I like it. That would be one of the craziest things to see if a guy gets tackled, catches his own flags, re-clips it, and keeps running.
Indeed. We see now Sikbik readying for their second down play. Mitch Feigenbaum communicating the play to his receivers. Do you think we'll see Benji Ziegler moving around the offense even more as they continue to specifically try and take him away?
I think so. I think they have a matchup that they like, and they have one guy shadowing Benji Ziegler most of the game, and I think they're going to keep moving him around.
Feigenbaum rolling, still has the flag on. It is thrown deep to Ziegler. Ziegler goes up. That's the thing he does best. Is it a catch, however? I still don't know.
It's a catch, but they had flag guarding by the quarterback back there, so the play's coming backwards.
It was just odd because the referee was standing in the end zone denoting a catch, but not a touchdown, so I was confused. But the flag will negate it anyway. I didn't think I saw a flag guard specifically, but referee had a different angle.
He had a better vantage point as well, right?
Yeah.
He's right there. That's all he's watching.
On the replay, of course, we see Benji Ziegler catching it and then being somewhat suplexed to the ground, which is it's the right weekend to do so.
I know, right?
It is the weekend of the Masters. So we have
really? What?
Yeah. Why? What else is there this weekend?
Well, suplex should have been something else, but golf.
No, golf it is.
Like
so, it's not like it's WrestleMania weekend. We have, of course, the Sikbik offense now recovering from that penalty. It appears to be sort of second and.
It's still second down.
15?
We're looking at close to 15 yards.
Let's call it 13.
Cool.
All right, I like prime numbers. And Feigenbaum keeping his hand down again. The only reason it isn't a flag guard is because the flag came right off on the rush by Samuel Leblanc. And Air Force One using different rushers on different plays. We see that all season long. They haven't had a dedicated rusher, but on this group of athletes, do you think that's almost better?
It's something. It surprised me that Mitch was trying to buy so much time. They're looking for these long developing plays, and they're facing against quick defenders that took that away really quickly. And you see that Air Force One's defense relied on something different. They took away the first read, and they let the rusher do the job. And it's something you see in higher divisions. Once you move up, you see good defenders take away the first read and let the rusher make plays. And it's working really well for Air Force One so far.
Simo Blaze first snap is just inside the red zone. Quick hook thrown to Benjamin Reed. Benjamin Reed, one of the most dynamic snappers in Division 60.
He's not just Division 60, but most dynamic in Division 6, 5, 4, 3. He's a very, very good player. And he's not someone that we give a lot of love to because we don't give a lot of love to snappers overall, although you're one.
We're underappreciated as a species.
But it's
that's right, a species.
Because it doesn't show in the statute that you're a snapper, right? So we don't know. But he's a very good player.
Okay, just outside the red zone, Simon Blais making a move. He doesn't get the call for the flag guard that wasn't present in that case. Throws the ball out of bounds. Samuel LeBlanc.
Of course, he doesn't get called. There was no flag.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't happen. Unlike Mitch Furgenbaum.
Okay, we'll go with that. Incomplete back at the end zone. This is one of those shots that it's good that he takes. So it's a safe shot. Throw it out of bounds. Play for another down. Don't take the chance on second down where you have the opportunity to get more plays.
Simon Blais having his offense set in their base package. Looks to read, then delivers to the back of the end zone. The receiver falling out of bounds. And, of course, our worst nightmare happens as number 4 isn't on the roster sheet. We don't know who that is. So we're hoping someone in the production staff or someone close to Air Force One calls into the show. It is, of course, 1-800-ROAD-SHOW if you want to reach us.
I'm pretty sure that's Nicolas Lessard.
But Nicolas Lessard typically wearing number
2, but there's no number
2.
2, so I'd say that's him.
Nicolas Lessard.
He's also their best defender,
yeah.
and he's shadowing their best receiver. So
That's
I
a
would
good
assume
chance,
that's
yeah.
him.
Let's assume it's Nicolas
We'll blame
Lessard.
high sight from here.
Exactly. Nicolas Lessard now in the back of the ball thrown to Benjamin Reed on the corner route, incomplete. I thought they were going to try to throw back to Lessard. He goes over to tell Simon Blais, yo, it's okay.
I think, yo, I was open.
Could be. We don't know. We don't have.
I couldn't. Also, we don't have eyesight or ears on the field, so we don't know.
No, just no superpowers at all. Really.
We're not very good at what we do.
I mean, yes, I blame production staff. Sick Big now, their second drive. Do you think Mitch Furgenbaum will have better success against the rush this time?
I think this was the opportunity for Air Force One to sort of get momentum, score, put the pressure back on Sigbik. They failed to do so. Now Sigbik's back on offense. It's like the first 2 drives never happened.
Air Force 3 now rushing Nicholas Dimitru. He's
3.
breaking down on the quarterback, but the ball delivered quickly out to the outside. I believe that's Adam Rabinovich. He catches it. Looks to be about a 9-yard gain.
Are we going to get to like Air Force 97 by the end of this road show?
Depending who's rushing. His number was 3. So.
That's what really you're going.
Yep.
So if there's
if I don't know their name for a moment, they Air Force their number, and then I call the name.
That's okay. So it's still that was sorry, you got me confused. That was a great play by Sigbik. Every time they try to go with something quick and short, it works so far in this game. And it's when Mitch tries to be a hero by too much time that he gets in trouble with the rusher. So it's good to see them go back to basics and the quick plays.
That's it. That said, he can be my hero, baby, but unable to do so far in the game. He rolls to his left this time, beats the rusher. Dimitri unable to contain him. Met just as he's going out of bounds for a first down. Guillaume Fraticelli making a great play on the sideline.
It's a great play call by Sigbik to go with something safe here. They needed second and short. They needed something that's efficient and risk-free, and running is exactly that. You can't throw an interception on the run, right? Because there's no fumbles in this league. So there's no risk of turnovers. And it was a safe play that panned out very well.
And the rusher quarterback interchange, something we're going to have to watch very carefully, as Mitch Furgenbaum did surrender 10 sacks in 8 games played in the regular season. That's definitely a lot.
Well, 10 in 8 games, not so bad. It's 1 per game.
It's, I mean, yes, yet some quarterbacks don't get sacked once per game. Ball delivered over the middle. It is, to the right side. It is caught in traffic. And a great catch by Jake Schaffman.
This is one of the guys we haven't talked about so far, and he just made a huge play for his team. The ball was slightly underthrown. He cut back, and the defender was nowhere near in position to make a play on the ball, and the receiver beat him the entire way.
What's awesome about Sigbik is the receivers run the routes in such a way that they're coming back to the ball, boxing out, but it almost appears as though that was the route. Yeah, that's
maybe
right.
That is.
The route is run up the sideline, post, and then hook, and then box everyone out and make the catch. Doubtful, but still, it works well for what they have because they're very familiar with each other. They know each other's strength, and Mitch Furgenbaum is very good at delivering those balls into coverage as he gets the ball in the red zone. Looks to his right, back left, back to his right. He has a receiver doing jumping jacks back in the end zone, but it is picked by Nick Lessard. Interception, huge play. Nick Lessard, you said it, Simon. One of the best defenders on this team in the the regular season. He had 6 interceptions, 4 of them for touchdowns.
He's a very good player for them, and that's exactly what Nick Lessard does best. Is he baits you. He shows you that he looks like a lazy defender. He's not moving so much. He baits you to throw over his head, and then makes a play on the ball. There was 2 guys for Air Force One look at in front of the end zone. Nick Lessard knew he was the one covering the back of the end zone. He baited that. Got the pick. It was a beautiful play.
Also impressive, Nick Lessard. That's his 4th interception in the postseason.
Wow.
As he takes his spot on the left side of the offense.
Like
Simon Blais gets the ball. He throws up a deep ball to Nick Lessard, trying to reward his man. He goes up for the jump ball, catches it. It's a touchdown. Nick Lessard, hit me, baby, one more time.
Okay. I can hit you if you want.
I don't want you to. I want you to
Just
continue with
You
your
just said hit me, baby, one more time.
analysis.
I did it earlier, so
Yes, we'll save that for after the game.
that was a very impressive play by Nicolas. The ball was well thrown, but it was into coverage. The defender was technically better positioned to make a play on the ball, but nonetheless, Nicolas just wrestled it out of his hands, and that was a fantastic play. Shows how good this receiver actually is.
And Simon Blais does throw the pretty camera throws, a lot of touch passes that are deep. Can't get him to trouble at times, but I'll tell you what, it was on camera. It did look pretty. And now he's set in his base package to go 4-1. Benjamin Reed's ready, snaps the ball. Blais looking over the middle, throws deep across the back of the end zone. That's your red zone play there, Simon.
It is.
It's the hook on the goal line, deep in across the back.
Yes,
Tell us about
sir.
it.
It's one of those plays where most of the base defenses that we see in the red zones are what we call lanes. So everybody just plays back and forth, and so you create a play where you have a guy running in the back of the end zone and you have a guy sitting in front. So the person playing the lane in the middle has to choose whether he's covering the front or the back, and you can't cover both guys. So you just wait for him to make a decision and you pick the other.
Unfortunately, on that time, as we saw in the replay, Slickpick in man defense on that one, so neither of the routes were open. In motion now, sort of double motion as the ball is flipped, and it is, I guess, caught, but caught for a run. It's a little bit of a strange play, but somewhat effective as we see Zach Sigler make a play.
It's one of those things Slickpick does well, and it requires a disciplined defense to be able to counter those. They have different guys coming in on running patterns behind. They're essentially running backs at this point. And the quarterback has the option whether to give the ball off or not, and that allows the defense, if the defense is not disciplined enough, to have one guy just sitting, doesn't really know what he's doing, and they could exploit the coverage that way.
Unfortunately, only gained about 2.78 yards on that one, but sort of had a man in motion early, a man in motion after the snap. Interesting play design by Mitch Fergenbaum as he rolls to his right. The ball is caught for a very short gain once again, but to your point, Simon, that ball going to Daniel Golfman, but Slickpick, that's what they've been doing well all season long. And Golfman aptly named for this weekend, of course, because it's WrestleMania weekend.
It's not. It's not. What? We talked about this. It's not. Jesus. So I hate you so much right now. So exactly, Slickpick, every time they try to go underneath, it's been working well for them. The only times they had issues is when they try to go over top and create some spectacular plays. If they keep going with safe things underneath, their offense is very, very good.
It's not something that they're familiar with doing, but Mitch Fergenbaum going to his right, he then breaks the rusher and then spins his way for a first down.
That was a great play by Mitch Fergenbaum to stop, plant, spin, made the defender miss, got the first down, and instead of having a 4th and short, they have a first down, and now their playbook's wide open.
If you were to weigh his feet, do you think he had the lightest feet? They looked light on that play.
I would say not just his feet.
I love that you never know what to say.
What do you want me to say to that?
If you remove his feet from his body, weigh them, are they then the lightest feet?
Yes, but then he would die.
We don't want that. Mitch Fergenbaum very much alive, keeping his team alive in this game. It's only 6-0, 7:53 left in the game. He moves to his right, delivers over the middle of the field. It is caught. Golfman once again making the catch and helping move the chains, so to speak.
In these situations, it looks like it's those kind of plays that don't necessarily work because the defender's right there, gets a tackle. But if you actually analyze what's going on, they're getting 4, 5, 6 yards every single time they do these dump offs, and they gain so much yardage with these little plays that they're never in these tough 3rd and long situations, and that's why Slickpick's offense has been so successful.
But it's also some maturity on Fergenbaum's part because we know he wants to throw jump balls. We know
it's what they do.
Exactly.
The 40 bombs is what they do best, but they can't right now, so they're evolving to something else.
And the ball once again caught by Golfman in the middle. Daniel Golfman having a huge first half. Again, not necessarily one of the names we talk about a bunch with this team, but he's been a consistent contributor. We've seen it all season long. And he's having a big role in this game.
So this is why Slickpick's offense is so good. Is they see the defense he's taking what they're giving him. They're letting the snapper open because they're covering the deep passes, and they're allowing these short slant sort out patterns underneath, and they just don't want him to throw deep. So he's taking what the defense is giving him. Now he has a 3rd and 2. Very manageable situation. Fergenbaum
with the man in motion this time doesn't give it. He goes left, cuts back right over the middle, still on his feet spinning, and he is taken to the prom as he is deflagged inside the red zone.
He's a fun quarterback to watch run. Like
Absolutely.
He doesn't run straight pure speed and tries to burn the rusher. He cuts back, he makes the defender miss. It's something that Air Force One's gonna have to try to find a way to counter, because so far it's been working too well for Sikpik, and they're grinding the field like it's their own field.
Yeah.
Like it's own field advantage.
Indeed. Are they? I don't think they are though.
I don't think so. I think it's Air Force One.
It is. But of course,
if we had production, maybe we would know. But
perhaps
we don't. So.
But as he made his way, very Gordon light-footed in that play. As Friggabom now looking to his left, breaking back across his right, looking for a receiver. He has one momentarily. He's still open. It is absolutely a touchdown. And after all, he's his Wonderwall. Touchdown, Mitch Friggabom. Great throw.
The who? Who caught the foot?
Not sure. Haven't seen the number yet, Simo. So
Number
this is where you
7.
keep talking and buy time.
Number 7. You're welcome. I got your back.
Oren Eisman with a great catch in that play.
So this is one of the plays where this is what Sikpik does best. Is Mitch Friggabom didn't have the first read wasn't there. Air Force One defense is taking away that really, really well. But he cut back. He managed to make the rusher miss, and then he had so much time, which opened up windows for him to throw. And his receivers knew exactly where to position themselves with him. That chemistry right there is why they scored.
6-6 1-point convert. Golfman ready to snap, delivers the ball perfectly to Friggabom. Friggabom bouncing like a boxer, delivering the ball deep to the back of the end zone. Jump ball, and it is caught by Eisman. However, it is caught out of bounds.
It was, again, those jump balls that Sikpik are really good at. It's their forte. It's what they do best. It's the jump balls. They catch it over your head and make you look stupid. It worked. It's just it was out of bounds.
And the thing that worried me coming into this game was Air Force One's size and strength and difficulty, the difficulty they pose when trying to box guys out. So hopefully they continue to be as disciplined as is the case with Sikpik. But now Simon Blais and Air Force One ready to take the field again.
That was my worry as well for Sikpik, is they need those jump balls a bit too much, that it's something Air Force One's able to take away. And so far in this game, they haven't been able to exploit it well, and it's a very good game.
Simon Blais delivers over the right. Nick Lassard with a foolish catch. One hand, plucked it from the sky.
Oof. That was a poorly thrown ball way behind his receiver. This should have been an incomplete, maybe even an interception. Nicolas Lassard managed to make a ridiculous spin on the ball with the outstretch his hand behind himself, catch it with one hand and bring it back to make sure that was a yard completion.
Reminiscent of Yoshi in Super Mario World, grabbing the apple from the sky. This time not with his tongue, but with one hand from Nick Lassard.
Well, Yoshi can really catch things with his hands because they're
he
very,
doesn't have
very
hands. They're like animal. Do dinosaurs have paws? Snapped to Simon Blais as he delivers quickly. Caught by Benjamin Reed for first. Is it a first down or just shy?
Just shy of the first down, but still a great play. 3rd and 1, 2. It's those kind of situations we see that great offenses thrive in. They get these chunks of yardage every single play that allows them to be in these fairly manageable situations. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 as a quarterback is, I wouldn't say easy, but it's what you want. You don't want 3rd and 10. You want 3rd and 1.
It's comfortable as home cooking. Simon Blais, 38 touchdowns in the regular season, only 11 in the playoff season, but looking to turn around as he delivers a quick strike out to his left side. Nicholas Dumitru, whose name is probably mentioned more in this game than it had been all season. Huge impact as the stage has gotten bigger and bigger.
He's one of those guys that the team didn't necessarily revolve around. Some of the guys were making much bigger plays, but as the playoff run came in and people start taking away guys like Nicolas Lassard, that's when you see other guys start to flourish, and that's exactly the prime example. And
throughout the season too, Dumitru, not necessarily a guy who got a ton of looks all season long, but consistent looks, 22 catches in regular season, 7 touchdowns, one of the many targets on this team. Ball delivered this time to Ed Arsenault, a little too far ahead, a little too high, this time incomplete. No Yoshi action on that one.
Well, that would have been, again, a super play by Air Force One. He went out with one hand instead of two. Just try to make that hero play, that one-hand grab. Didn't plan out, but it's one of those plays that you prefer that to something in traffic where it could have panned out really, really badly.
Coach Alex David would have said, go up with 2 hands. Your 2 arms are as long as your 1 arm. So
it's facts.
It is.
Facts.
I know him pretty well. It's what he would have said. Simon Blais delivers the ball to his right. It should have been caught. This time we were talking about Dumitru, but it's not pleasant. Little butterfingered in a moment they counted.
He looked surprised when that ball came in. He wasn't ready to turn around. I think he wasn't expecting the play to go his way. And as soon as he turned, the ball was right there. He didn't have time to react. I don't expect that to repeat itself again in this game.
And Simon Blais, the ability to deliver the ball so quickly as the ball snapped, just great mechanics. The ball snapped to him once again. This time he's rolling a little bit, just moving the pocket, but looks across back to the other side of the field. It is caught for a touchdown. Chris Van Oort, don't speak. I know just what you're saying. You're saying it's a touchdown.
So on this play, you had Simon Blais try to run to one sideline. As soon as he started moving, he saw the rusher coming across. The play he wanted wasn't there. The rusher missed his flags, which allowed him to buy more time. Start to read the field, find the wide open receiver across the field. Perfect pass, perfect play, and Air Force One are they're going for one now.
And two of the more talented players in this team, Chris and David Van Oort, not necessarily all the numbers in the world, but David Van Oort specifically in the season had 6 catches and 5 touchdowns. We have, of course, a lot of extra time to talk about it because we see a timeout, this time going to Sickpick.
Yes.
With now a minute and 10 seconds left in the first half. Simo, you're an advocate for first half timeouts.
Yes, very. So if there's one thing that you like to say is we can't predict the future. So if you have the opportunity to and I can't, neither can you.
Not well.
So if you have the opportunity to take a timeout in the first half and get that extra 6 or 7 plays before the half and be able to score, take it, because you don't know if you're going to have that same sort of shot in the second half. Right now they took a timeout with about a minute 10 left in the game. They might be able to get 6 or 7 plays before half, which should be more than enough to score.
Do they take another one after the convert?
I would not if they think 6 is enough, if 6 plays is enough.
Ball snapped on the convert. Blay on the move again, doing so well this game, throwing that hook on the move, staring down another receiver, however, then able to go back out to Edward Arsenault. 1-point convert. It is 13-6 as we see seconds peeling off the clock.
That was a beautiful play by Air Force One. Simon Blais managed to, his footwork was perfect on that play, find the receiver. Great delivery. It looked like one of those beautiful plays we see on ESPN constantly. Now, Sickpick back on offense with about 40 seconds left on the clock. They should have time for 7 plays before half.
Yeah, they're rushing a little bit to the line, waiting for the referees to blow it in. It is in. Frigenbaum moving to his right, looking back across the field, doesn't make the throw. Instead, cuts up the sideline, cuts back in, and is deflagged just as he's making his way out of bounds by the Air Force One defender, Nicholas Dumitru, who has been all over the field.
So you've got about 7 plays left. You run, you get about 8 yards. Now there's just shy of 10 seconds left on the clock. They should have time to run 6 plays to score. They have no excuse not to be able to tie this game up before half.
Referees delaying the game somewhat for a misplaced flag, but it doesn't matter. There was going to be 6 plays left in the game.
Yeah, when there's a few seconds left, they don't kill the time. They just let it run and they give you 6 plays.
Frigenbaum moves to his left, cuts back across his right, throws a perfect strike, but into coverage. It is caught by Benji Ziegler.
Just shy of the end
Just
zone.
shy of the end zone. The Sickpick offense can't believe it's not a touchdown. He seemed to have kicked the cone, but don't forget the flags and ball both need to be in.
See, there was collision in Air Force One defense. 2 defenders collided into each other. One that was Nicolas Lasalle. The other one, I'm not exactly sure who it is. The 2 defenders ran to each other. Looked like a bang play. They're both a bit banged up. Hopefully they'll both be able to still play and finish the game.
Yeah, we saw the forearm of Dave Van Oort making contact with the head of Nick Lassard. For someone who's had his bell rung too many times, I can say that I sympathize entirely. Looks like everyone's okay, though. Still, great play by Benji Ziegler coming across the field, making a catch at the cone.
So let me ask you this.
Let me answer you this.
Awesome. We've talked about they want to have 6 or 7 plays to score. Now, if they would have scored on this play, they give Air Force One 5 plays to score before the half.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we call poor clock management, considering if they score now, they tie the game, they give Air Force One just enough plays to possibly drive the field and score again, negating their current drive?
I mean, it's not the optimal circumstance, but if you see a wide receiver that's wide open,
yes,
you need to take the shot, right?
I mean, you cannot not score, but again, if they have 5 plays from the one, they should be 4, because you can't really have 5, but unless there's a penalty. But technically, this is an optimal situation for Sickpick. If they're able to punch it in now and give less space to Air Force One's offense, they could potentially go at halftime with either a lead or down by a point or tied, or much closer outcome than if they would have gave Simon Blais 5 plays to drive the field.
Would you kill a down or 2?
I wouldn't kill downs because you never know, but you're already killing plays by just...
Ball delivered to the outside. It seems as though it was not caught. Edward Arsenault able to get his hands in despite a quick throw by Mitch Frigenbaum to the front of the end zone.
That was a great play by Air Force One's defense. They managed to jump that quick out really well. They're at the 1. They still got 3 plays. I'm not worried about Sickpick. It's gonna be worrisome if they get the 4th down, but otherwise.
And Frigenbaum sets his offense once again. A little bit tight on the right side. We'll see if he looks that way instead. Has a drag coming across the field. Throws into traffic. It is caught anyway. Is it a touchdown? Refs are looking to discuss it. Has it been called officially?
No, it hasn't been called officially yet.
Referees are discussing it.
I think they're questioning whether he had the possession or not, whether it's a catch or not. It looked...
Touchdown!
It is a touchdown.
The touchdown goes to Max Diane. Huge impact on this game so far. Tell you what, call whatever. We'll still be friends forever. Touchdown, Max Diane.
I like that. I can say whatever and you'll still be my friend.
I'm a nice guy that way.
Awesome.
But I was referring to Max Diane. He and I will be friends forever.
Still friends.
Even though we've never met.
So now Sikbik are giving Air Force One about 3 plays left before the half. It's a great situation for Sikbik. If they're able to tie this one up with this 1-point convert, they could potentially go into halftime with a tight score. It's exactly what they wanted out of this first half. After all things considered, after I started.
Max Diane, 22 catches, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns in the season. Guy is used now and again in the red zone, so great to see him have an impact in the finals. As we see Ferguson bounce once again, as he has done all game, delivering back over the middle. A little bit of a dangerous catch, but it is caught, and flags fly.
Regardless if it's a dangerous catch or not, that was a great play by the receiver. Again, as we discussed, chemistry, it goes back. It looks like all these patterns are sort of, if the first read's not there, come back to me. Be there for me. Be my friend. Be my Max Doyon. I'm pretty sure.
In this case,
Max Dayon or Doyon?
Diane.
D-O or
D-A-Y-A-N.
So Dayon. Okay.
Dayan.
It could have been the French name, but
It's like the zone. We didn't know how to pronounce it until we finally heard it pronounced on the commercial.
It wasn't clear.
I know.
Didn't know.
I know, right? It's ridiculous.
Why would you spell it that way?
I had to read it 4 different ways for the
So
ad.
confused.
But unfortunately, much like our inability to pronounce words, it seems as though the convert was it completed? Eagle was saying not.
It appears it.
Yeah, but they're marching back and setting up the bag, so it does appear as though
the convert's not good. The penalty seems to be against Sikbik, so they're the Air Force.
Also, they decline. No, but then they would have scored a convert
unless it's after the play or before. Unless it's on the offense before the
13-12.
We don't know what happened. We know nothing. All we know is that Air Force One's on offense, and they got an extra 5 yards to play with. 3 plays, I'm assuming. Do we have confirmation on the amount of plays left?
It's 4 plays.
4 plays?
4 plays left.
That's a good situation for Simon Blais, though.
Yeah, Simon Blais looks to his right, moving once again, throwing. It looked like he wanted to come back, but Ed Arsenault wanted to keep going. Didn't want to come back to his boy.
Well, you know, when you have that deep 40 bomb, do you really want to come back to your quarterback? Can you just keep going?
I've never had that in my life, so I don't know.
I mean, it's easier to just go going than actually stopping and coming back, right? So if I'm the receiver, I wouldn't say lazy. I think they were just not on the same page. It's you see that wide open deep play, you want to score, and you probably thought the quarterback would have seen the same thing. They were simply not on the same page. Incomplete. It's fine. Air Force One still has the ball.
We got confirmation Sikbik were called for an offensive pass interference, which apparently you can apply and also not get the points against you. But anyway, ball thrown, some contact, and a flag. Perhaps if you're going to make that kind of contact, don't stare down the receiver. Chris Van Noort went up. It was going to be a nearly impossible catch anyway. Surprised to see contact?
He went up with one hand across his body trying to bring that ball in, but the defender, instead of playing the ball, playing football, he played the guy and pushed him down, and then that stare down for 5 or 6 seconds afterwards kind of sold the penalty.
Or an Eisman couldn't take his eyes off his man as he knocked him down.
Also,
yeah.
True. So that penalty gives Air Force One an extra down, extra yardage. It doesn't give him that 10, 15-yard play, but it's still it's still something that we thought. Well, yeah, we're very confused about what's going on.
Yeah, so we now have Air Force One lining up. The score now reads 13-13 on the official scoreboard, so we'll get some confirmation. It's a bit of controversy in the Winter 18 Finals, Division 6D, and a timeout is called, thankfully, by Air Force One, but it's very thankful for us as we can figure out what's going on.
So I think this is a technical timeout. There's a lot of confusion on the field. How many plays there's left? The referees are saying 2, Air Force One saying there's 3 plays because they accepted the penalty. There should be 3 plays. So the convert was good. We got confirmation.
Yes, because they can't apply the penalty twice.
Exactly.
So therefore, the point was scored.
By taking the yardage, you assume the play was good.
And that's a smart decision by Air Force One because taking the yardage brings them closer to scoring.
Yes.
And all it gives up is 1 point.
Exactly. You allow 1 point, but you allow yourself to potentially score.
And it was actually unnecessary contact that was after the play, so the point would have counted anyway.
So the penalty was you could decline it, but why would you decline free yardage?
We apologize to the folks at home as we're getting information in the same way you are, bits and pieces at a time. Simon Blais delivers one of those pretty balls again. Jump ball caught by Edward Arsenault, and it is called a touchdown. And I've already said those lines I want to say for this one, so you call it, Timo.
It was a fantastic play. It's again like you're fighting fire with fire by playing jump balls against Sickpick, but that was a phenomenal catch.
Absolutely.
And back at the end zone, managed to tap both feet in. You were seeing the replay on the screen right now. It was a phenomenal play.
If you're a Sickpick, you know what Air Force One likes to do. You ought to know.
Okay, peace.
No worries.
Thank you for that.
Anytime.
Lack of information.
I mean, with some information. Simon Blade readies for a 1-point convert. Is now 19-13. Ball snapped. Delivered. He goes to his right, spins, goes to his left, delivers the ball to the back of the end zone. Wonderful spiral despite not having his feet set, but the ball knocked away from David Van Oort.
So Air Force One managed to score on that play.
Chris Van Oort, sorry.
On the last play, the half, to go up by 6 points. Now Air Force One starts with the ball, I believe, in the second half, which will allow them to go up by potentially 2 scores. This is the worst scenario possible for Sickpick, who managed to score, like we discussed, take the timeout, managed to score before the half, gave Air Force One too many plays, took a stupid penalty, which allowed them to take a shot, get the 6 points, and now they're down 6 points, and they need a stop right as we come back from the half.
And 2 penalties because the unnecessary contact gave some free yards.
Yep.
And then unnecessary contact again on the ensuing drive.
So Sickpick needs to chill essentially and keep their cool. I think Air Force One's slowly getting in their head. They have some nice plays. They're making some good decisions, and Sickpick are slowly chipping away at this game. I'm not sure what I would do if I was Sickpick. To be honest, Air Force One's offense is working. I would say they need to jump her out, make a play on defense to be able to come back in this game. Their offense has been rolling so far. There's not a lot, like we discussed, every time they go underneath, every time they keep the short plays, it works. So I would say I wouldn't be too worried about their offense, but their defense needs to make something happen.
I'm surprised Mitch Ferguson hasn't done more, considering Air Force One only 7 sacks all season long.
Well, they haven't really tried that deep play that works really, really well for them. They tried it earlier in the game. That first play of the game would have been a touchdown. It was a phenomenal play. The receiver simply couldn't go all the way there. But overall, the deep play could potentially be there if they try to attack it once again.
Frugenbaum 9 for 13, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
That's pretty good stats.
Yeah, and he also ran for 33 yards as well. So
yes,
just what's missing seems to be that big play.
That explosive play that really takes the top over the defense and puts the pressure back on Air Force One to kind of figure it out. It feels like Air Force One sort of figured out Sickpick's offense, and they're in control of this game, which is not what you want if you're on the other team. Yeah,
Air Force One on their side, Simon Blais being 7-11, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's being the difference in this game so far.
He's the banana.
He is. He gets them out of trouble. To depend, so to speak. Then we have Nick Lassard, a couple of catches, but really the big play is that interception in the corner of the offense.
That 40-yard bomb touchdown right here in front of us.
There's that one.
Also beautiful.
But the interception at the front, again, that the game changed. A big difference in this game is that one interception.
Yep.
Otherwise, we're looking at potentially a tie game. We've seen Dimitri all over the field, but also Dave Van Oort, 4 tackles in this game. The Air Force One defense has been truly impressive.
The Air Force One defense has been controlling this game. It really feels like the momentum switched in Air Force One's favor with these 2 big plays, 40 bombs, those jump balls back at the end zone that allowed them to score. They feel in control, but we've seen this sort of game before. We've seen teams like Sickpick manage to claw back in this game. It's only a 1-possession game, so one mistake could really set Air Force One back and allow Sickpick to claw back in the game.
Sickpick have seen 6 interceptions by Stiegler in the playoff season, and 4 by Adam Rabinovich again in the playoff season. I'd like to see perhaps just them trying to absolutely lock down those jump balls to the big receivers and Ed Arsenault and Nicolas Lassard. Do you think that they'll have an opportunity to do that in the second half?
I think the Sickpick's more likely to have an interception on defense in the second half.
Air Force One start with a quick hook to the outside. However, Simon Blais unable to communicate with Samuel Leblanc. Samuel Leblanc ran that too far inside. He expected the receiver to be more on the sideline. Incomplete pass.
I think he was expecting his receiver to turn towards the sideline rather than towards the inside. And it's just miscommunication, but it was a safe throw on first down. It's one of those plays where you could just brush it off. It doesn't matter. 2nd down and 10 for Air Force One. Simon Blais ready to receive the snap. Benjamin Reed delivers the snap. He looks to his left. Ball complete. Stepping out of bounds despite the delayed whistle was Nicolas Dimitrou. Again, a guy that we've
said his name more than anyone else in this game.
Yeah,
and it's because he's been all over the field.
He's been making really nice plays for his offense so far. He was wide open on that play. Simon Blais managed to look off one receiver. The whole defense switched. I think Sikbik is, as we discussed, they're looking to make a play. They're looking to have an impact, and that's what's going to happen when you're forcing it. You might have blown coverage.
Air Force One not looking to force it on this play. They have trips to their right. The ball delivered once again to Dumitru, and then he is deflagged quickly by a tandem of Sikbik players.
Dumitru has been the underneath guy so far in this game. He hasn't been that over-the-top sort of receiver, but that's why we're mentioning him so much. Is Sikbik really doesn't want those big plays to happen. They're sort of giving up those underneath plays the same way Air Force One has been doing. So that's why we see guys like Dumitru excel so far in this game.
And that was Jake Sheffman and Oren Eisman combining for that tackle. One of the rare shared tackles in NFPL.
They don't happen so often. We see them every now and then. Two guys tackle the same guy, but it's a very rare instance.
Air Force One staying in trips to the right, delivers again over the middle of the field. They seem to have found something they like, and he's continuing. He still has the ball. It is a touchdown to Samuel Leblanc. I never want to hear you say it, but I'll say it this time. Touchdown.
But what?
I don't want to hear you say it because I'm
okay.
play.
Sorry.
So I'll say it.
Touchdown. Sorry, I stole your thunder.
Yeah.
So it's one of those plays, as we discussed. We just talked about shared tackles. Two guys went for the same flag. They both looked at each other. They both sort of stopped at the same time. Say, "Oh, it's yours. Take it." They both acted the same way. The guy just slipped in between the two, and now the defenders are looking at each other like, "Bro, you had it. That was your play. Bro, that was your play. What are you saying?"
Everyone just stopped moving.
It was sad.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was one of those plays where if I'm on the bench, I'm on like the quarterback for Sikbik, I feel like my team just sort of let me down, you know?
It's now the 1 point converge, 25-13 favor Air Force One. Simon Blais on the convert does have the flag removed from him violently by Zach Sigler.
Well, the rush is trying to make a play here. He's
Yeah.
like, guys,
happy.
this is how you tackle players. This is what you should be doing.
Indeed.
Basically a teacher.
I know, right? You said it was sad. Which side of emoticon do you use? Do you use the crying face or just the really sad face with the closed eyes? The double crying?
The problem with the double crying, they look more like laughing than actually
Yeah,
crying.
I always thought so.
It looks too happy for me. I'm more of a frowner.
True story. My mom actually does think it's a laughing emoji, and we haven't told her otherwise. Now, Mitch Fergenbaum looks to his left, delivers a quick pass, and quickly the flag, perhaps slightly before, perhaps just on time. But either way, it's whistled dead after a 6-yard gain.
It's still a good game, guys. You're going to see receivers complain about these sorts of plays where the flags kind of sort of fall off, but you still got 5-6 yards. It's a very good first down play. I know you wanted that big impact play, but it's not like you threw an interception, right?
No, absolutely. Max Diane and Mitch Fergenbaum once again completing passes for underneath. I think what they got to do, Simon, is really just take their time, score, and try and force a mistake from Air Force One. I
think there's so much time left on this clock. Scoring is all that matters.
18 minutes left as Mitch Fergenbaum runs to the left, runs more to his left, cuts back to the right, and then deflagged by David Van Oort.
His running ability has been almost impossible to stop by Air Force One. He keeps on getting big chunks of yards every time he tries to run.
I love the high step in too, to be honest.
Oh yeah, he looks confident.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to beat that rusher. Do you think Air Force One should consider a different rusher?
Well, they've moved different guys in and out, although they seem to have settled now on Nicholas Dumitru, and Dumitru's been making plays. Even if it's not sacks, it's tackles, and he's now closing in on Fergenbaum. He goes back to his right, throwing over the middle of the field, dangerous throw, but it is caught and a great catch in traffic. Didn't see who caught that just yet, but a great catch over the middle, Simon. It's Jake Sheffman.
So this is one of those plays where we talked about chemistry. It's one of what we consider mostly broken plays where Sikbik buys time, fires it across his body to one of his open receivers that the ball tends to float a little bit, and you see defenders trying to make a play on the ball. You saw the rusher come in with a different angle this time. He sort of tried to push him to one sideline, not allow him to cut back. It sort of made Mitch panic a little bit, and that was a great play by the rusher.
And Mitch Fergenbaum now with the receiver once again in motion. He goes to his left, cuts back across his right. Two guys coming in. The ball delivered this time over the hand of an outstretched Nick Lassard. It is a touchdown, and the best thing about being a woman is a prerogative to have a little fun. Touchdown, Sikbik. 25-19.
So we saw this earlier in the game where Nick Lassard was sort of baiting the quarterback to throw over his head and was making a play on the ball. It felt like it was the exact same thing, except this time his feet were... He thought he was going to shoot that play instead of play over his head, so he wanted to shoot the guy in front of him to make the pick six.
Mm-hmm.
And as he went up for the ball, his feet were not placed the right way, and he couldn't make a play on that ball. I'm not sure whether he was beat by the fact that there's two receivers against him, or he just tried to bait him again, and it didn't work.
The masturbator, and a quick throw to the back of the end zone on the convert. It is caught, 25-20. Big play on the convert.
It's a huge drive by Sickbik as a whole. No incompletes. They drove the field really quickly. They got a few chunks. They scored in about 3 minutes 20 seconds. Exactly what Sickbit needed. They needed to score. They got their convert, so now it's less than a score difference. And on top of that, they put the pressure back on Air Force One to drove the field and score. If Air Force One cannot score on this drive, Sickbit could potentially take the lead.
Absolutely. And on that play on the touchdown, Simon, good play design by
Beautiful.
Springbom, knowing what Lassard likes to do.
Yeah, well, it's you know what he wants to do. You sort of expect him to do something, and you beat him at his own game. It's one of the most satisfying things to do. Nice sack by Air Force One's rusher. Thank you, Pete.
It was Nicola Dimitriou.
By Nicola Dimitriou.
Man, you had a point to make.
There was a quick snap by Air Force One to try to get back in his zone, and Simon Blais tried to beat the rusher, could not, got sacked for a huge.
Sorry, that was
yards.
Zach Sigler. I misread his.
Sorry, good, you're fine. We'll pardon this one.
Nice,
Yeah.
we got that one finally. Zach Sigler. Now we saw a sack on the convert, sack on the first play, and now Simon Blais having to make a play in his own end zone. Blais delivers a quick hook. It is caught once again. This time it is Nicola Dimitriou making a great play.
So this is one of the worst possible situations as a quarterback. You take a sack on first down. You're sitting in your end zone. You're about second and 18. Now they got that short play that pushed them back, but they essentially just lost 2 straight downs because you just gained the yards you lost on the sack. So now it's 3rd and forever, more than time, 3rd and 12, and you're in a tough situation. If you don't complete a pass right here, do you punt?
Depending if you don't complete a pass, yeah, you likely punt. The ball snapped to Simon Blais. He looks over the middle, but now once again Zach Sigler closing in, and it seems as though all the air has been kicked out of the lungs of Air Force One, except it does appear to be a penalty.
So that was a beautiful play by the rusher once again. Managed to keep him in the pocket, force him to stay there. You try to cut back, could not, got the sack, and the excessive celebration costed him some yardage that sort of negates the sack.
I mean, kind of nitpicky in that moment. A guy made a big play. We're not there, so we don't know if he's screaming.
He could have said something at the quarterback. We
Potentially.
don't have heroes on the field.
We don't. From what we've seen, just a great play by Zach Sigler. Hopefully, he can keep it in check for the rest of the.
Apparently,
the game.
he was waving at the quarterback, taunting him.
Okay, so taunting and the penalty now has given Air Force One some of the life back.
So there appears to be confusion on what down is it.
Yep, and the referees seem to be calling a little bit of a conference.
So it was actually the taunting call was an OC against.
Yeah, that should be first down.
Which concludes in a first down. So it's first down for Air Force One.
But shouldn't they have also gained 15 yards? Is it 10 or 15 yards? 10 yards.
10 yards first down. It's a huge penalty after what could have been a game-changing play.
Just and of course it also takes Zach Sigler off the field.
It's one of those plays. Honestly, like, we're sitting in the booth. We don't know really what happened, what was said, but it's one of those plays that it was a game-changing play. Then the player did something stupid after the play that took everything away from him.
Again, apparently he was waving at the quarterback. Usually refs will let you celebrate.
Maybe he said something that was unacceptable. We're not there. We don't know.
Yeah.
But this changes everything for.
And Simon Blais delivers a deep ball immediately to Lassard. Lassard catches it, able to keep both feet in. It is once again a touchdown to Nick Lassard, and all that glitters is gold for Air Force One.
Well, we initially had a sideline cam. It was knocked down by the receivers. Sadly, are we going to get the review?
Can we see a replay on that camera?
Yes, we will. So the cam was knocked down right after the catch, so we'll see it right here.
1-2. That looks like a catch to me.
There was a beautiful catch by Nick Lassard. It was one of those plays that were phenomenal. We've talked about it earlier. He went to that play on their first scoring drive where he got that 40 bomb right over the top. This time the ball was placed perfectly, and that really switches the momentum away from Sickbik, who initially had them on the 4th down at their 1, would have punted, would have turned it over, and now they scored on the following play, took the momentum back away, and now they're up by 11.
It's a 6-point swing at the very least, but no challenge by Sickbik on that one. It does appear to be a confirmed touchdown, however. Simon Blais to his left, back to his right. This time the rusher does get to him, and this time the rusher was Adam Rabinovich. Although having Rabinovich have to rush the passer means he's not in coverage.
Yes.
And we saw a big touchdown score on that play.
You need a good rusher. It's one of the most important
100%.
things. So, but now you've talked about the whole not challenging the play. Maybe because it's a Division 6, maybe they don't know they can challenge the play.
I did explain to them at the... Oh, and they weren't at the press conference. I explained it to Air Force One, however. So...
so this considered, would you have challenged this touchdown?
I mean, given that I saw the replay, no. But
on the spot,
on the spot, I might have, just because the first foot was down when he caught it.
But what was the second one then?
The second one came down afterwards, and it was difficult to spot. Rich Furgenbaum going to his right. He has two open receivers. It is caught over the top by Oren Eisman. Eisman flagged just outside the red zone.
So this is interesting. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Will Air Force One decide to have a different rusher? And we said they won't. Dimitri's been doing a good job, but now they decided to switch their rusher, and it didn't pan out. They tried to keep Mitch Furgenbaum in the pocket. They even rushed him on the sidelines with the second guy, Nicholas Hall, blitzed him, and that gave up a huge play up the sideline.
10 minutes and 20 seconds left. The ball about to be snapped. It is to Mitch Furgenbaum. He looks to his left, bounces back to his right, delivers to his right. Open receiver to the back, but it is not open because the backside defender, Nick Lassard, jumped, pulled the ball from the sky. It is intercepted.
This is one of the things that Nicolas Lassard does the best is if those balls float a little bit too much, he's gonna get there. He's gonna be one of those safeties that makes you think it's open, but it's not really. And that was a fantastic play by the defender. It was a good read by the quarterback. The guy was initially open. The route was well traced, but the DB planned that the whole way.
And now some dejection on the faces of Sick Big. They know how big that was, 11-point lead.
Well, you had that big play that gave you past half point. You had still 10 minutes. You were able to come back in this game, and now you create a turnover that might kill you guys.
Yeah, Simon Blais slightly overthrowing Chris Van Oort, but not a play I think that'll harm them too much. 2nd and 10. You'd rather make those mistakes on early downs than later downs.
Yeah, well, that for sure. But now if you're actually looking at the clock and what's going on, Sick Big needs to create a turnover fast. They can't allow them to drive the whole field and take 5 or 6 minutes off the clock. There's only 9 left. They need to create something really, really quickly, and I'm not sure Simon Blais will make that mistake.
Simon Blais has been noted for his pace of game, and he delivers a hook to the outside. Nick Lassard catching it, an easier catch than that on the interception. Still a wonderful catch nonetheless.
So nobody rushed in this play.
That was bizarre.
So considering you don't have a rush, why are you so?
It's programmed in his brain, I guess. The open receiver.
The play was the guy's open right there, shoots. It's one of those things you just sort of ignore and phase out the rusher.
I don't think he noticed the rusher.
But if you would have noticed, there's no rusher. Take your time.
Yeah,
you
go
forever.
Sit down.
There you
Sit down. Throw it out of bounds.
Bounce it off the ground.
Yeah. And they're ready for another snap. Once again in their base formation. Simon Blais scans to his right, looks back to his left, gets his feet set, receives the snap a little bit high, but delivers it quickly to Benjamin Reed. Reed snapping high, maybe knowing he was getting the ball on that play. He saw some open space, excited, and made a catch.
I'd say so. I say that was one of those design plays. It's an underneath to the snapper. Zach Sigler is back in the game. Should be able to have an impact sooner rather than later. But
they'll need it sooner than later.
But Sick Big needs something really fast. If Air Force One scores, this game is over.
Sick Big having an underscore in their name, completely unnecessary? Or do you think it's truly important to them?
I think it sort of goes with the whole swagger of the team.
So should we just refer to them from now on as Sick_Bick?
No, that sounds the worst.
Sick_Bick setting up their defense against a driving Air Force One. Air Force One, if they score here, the game is all but over for Sick Bick. Simon Blais gets a snap, looks over to the middle. Once again, Benjamin Reed puts those big paws on the ball. It is caught. It looks to be about a 7-yard gain.
I like what Sick Bick is doing. They're being a little bit more
6-yard gain.
Being a little bit more creative here. Sent double rush that almost worked. That almost managed to bat down the ball. They know they're getting to that zone where they're a bit desperate. They need a big play. They need something to happen, and they can't just sit by and watch this game go by.
However, when it's double rush and you see the snapper doing an out, you need to take away the angle. None of the rushers did that.
He put his hands up, but the ball went right between his hands.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of luck involved in that play as well. That could have been a good PD. It just ended up being...
It would have been a great pick six.
Or that would have been sick pick.
Sick pick.
So,
with 3 yards to the first down, Simon Blais receives the snap, has a receiver coming over, does not look to him, throws it instead to nobody. The closest person was, of course, the Sick pick defender, number 8, Benji Ziegler, a guy whose name we have not mentioned nearly as much as we thought we would have coming into this game.
Yeah. This is one of those plays where it looks like a safe play by Air Force One. But it's one of those plays where Sickpick need to make a play on the ball. It's poorly thrown to basically nobody. It's a safe-ish play, but if Sickpick safety is able to make a play on that ball, they could turn it around really quickly and turn that into an interception.
Still short yardage interception situation. We saw Chris Van Ort get open early, but instead throws that post in coverage over the top to Ed Arsenault. It is absolutely a touchdown, and you became the light on the dark side of me, Simon.
Hey.
Tell me about the play.
So you have the post from you have the post from Edouard Arsenault. He's technically covered by Jake Schaffman. I would expect him to make a pick on this ball, but he was lazy. He went with one hand. He had his second hand just laying there. He could have probably made a play on the ball. I think he was expecting to be a little bit higher over the top. It was not. And I think he's disappointed in himself, thinking that he could have made that play, could have made an interception. And you could see from their body expression that Sickpick gave up on this game.
Great coverage nonetheless. Simon Blais once again sacked by Zach Sigler. It seems as though Simon Blais perhaps allergic to converts at this point.
Zach Sigler is having a monster game as a rusher.
Yeah.
2 sacks on 2 converts. He's keeping this.
But how big was that penalty he gave up, Simon?
The thing is, that's exactly it. He made so many big plays, but that penalty killed them. That was a game-changing play. That was a game-changing play that turned out to be a game-changing play for the other team because he took a stupid penalty afterwards.
Now a 3-score lead, 37-20, 5 minutes left in the game. Are we dropping the earth on the grave of Sickpick?
I've seen greater comebacks before. I've seen crazier things.
Deep ball thrown to the sideline. It is jumped. It is picked. No, it is incomplete. I thought Ed Arsenault had it. Unable to bring it in.
And there's the penalty against Edouard Arsenault, who taunts the receiver for making a play. Again, this is the sort of play. Don't say anything. Don't take a stupid penalty. This is exactly what happened.
Very surprised to see this from these two teams. They're not teams that normally get in each other's face, in other teams' faces and so on.
Well, they get in each other's faces, but they usually don't say much. They usually don't talk back to players. It's from what I've seen from these two teams across the season is they're very quiet. They'll knock at you a little bit. They'll be, I wouldn't say arrogant, but they know they're good. That's why they're on the field, but they won't talk back to players. They won't put it in your face, and this is what they're doing right now, and it's costing both teams a lot of yardage and big plays. Yeah,
and it's surprising. I didn't think we do tend to see it in the finals. Perhaps the elevated emotions of having played in the finals, but see, I didn't think we'd see that from these specific teams.
What could have been an interception or possibly PD here turned into a 10-yard completion, 10-yard penalty, first down, and the clock is stopped.
Yeah,
that's one of the biggest things. Is if the clock would have ran down right here after the PD, that could have killed about a minute. Now it only killed 30 seconds. They gave him 10 yards. That was again a very stupid play. By
after incomplete deep balls, clock coming off the time coming off the clock. Usually not the case this time. Frigomov going to his right and juking and moving as he has been doing all game, but finally tracked down by David Van Wert.
They're down by 3 scores. They need to score quickly. I'm not surprised that he's running, but they know you're going to take a deep shot, right? They have all these safeties just baiting you, waiting for that play. It's a smart play, but is it enough?
Doubtful, because again, it's 3 scores and 4 minutes now remaining in the game. An entire minute gone off the clock, and the score has not changed. Frigenbaum goes to his left, delivers a high hook, but it is caught, and the flag coming right off. So again, a little bit of chippiness. The Sickpick's
trying to push up, play faster, but the Air Force One defenders are just being very, I wouldn't say cheap, but they know they have time on their side, and they're taking their time, and they're trying to slow this game down as much as possible.
Adam Rabinovich ripping the flag off from the defender.
He doesn't want to give it back because he wants to buy time, right?
And he's open. Will it be caught? It looks to be caught. I think it's a touchdown. No, it's incomplete.
They're not even arguing. He knew that ball wasn't caught. He knew he was out of bounds. They need to go back to the. They need to go no huddle. They need to go straight to the line right away. They need to score very, very quickly.
Yeah, we won't have time to see replay. Going back to Rabinovich, maybe a bit of a bounce pass, but no, this one is actually called a touchdown, and I want it that way. But 37-26. Just a few moments left in the game.
I'm surprised by this play. You saw Nicolas line up there differently from before. I think he was expecting that play, but
sorry, Simon. Mitch Frigenbaum gets the ball, goes to his right. Some contact, another flag, but the convert is good.
See, again,
This time going to Benji Ziegler.
but that's another stupid penalty by Air Force One. So Sigbik wants to push up the clock, go play faster. Now Sigbik takes a stupid
Zach Ziegler.
takes a stupid penalty that puts him back. And now instead of having a free 10 yards, they will only have 5 yards on the next drive, which could put Simon Blais in a bad position considering how he's having trouble with the rush in the second half.
Absolutely, and that might be that play that allows Sigbik back into the game. They need a miracle play.
They scored in 2 minutes, in 120 seconds. They scored in exactly 2 minutes.
Took you a while to do the math there.
I know, it was terrible. I misspelled it. So now that we have about 2 minutes left on the clock, if they could create a turnover really quickly, there's a chance that Sigbik could come back in this game. They're at the 1.
Yeah, they're at the 1. Simon Blais feeling the shadow of the Brassard wall behind him. The ball delivered to the snapper. Sigbik tried to jump it to their defense. They tried to jump it. They did not get there.
They wanted that safety. They wanted that quick bat down. If they get the safety, it's only a 1-score game, right? They're only down by 10 points. So safety puts them down by 8 points, which is a one-score
game.
One-score game that could have put, and then Sigbik also gets the ball. They're still within safety proportions.
Range, yeah.
So a safety could really turn that game into Sigbik's favor.
The bat down would have been good too because it would have made Simon Blais have to look elsewhere other than the middle of the field to the snapper, which is the easiest completion.
Again, right?
Yeah.
Now he's again sitting in his own end zone. Can't really try to beat the rusher. But another quick completion to his receiver. First down.
Edouard Arsenault making the catch, and that's again the quick release of Simon Blais.
It's those things you expect the defense to take away. They're going to go for quick release because the rusher's in his face, and the defense was not able to stop these quick hooks that gave him a first down and pushed them out of the danger of the safety zone.
You surprised that Sigbik gave them that much room to work with on defense?
I am. I was expecting them to play really, really tight and take away those hooks and allow their rusher to make a play, basically.
Yeah. Zach Ziegler gets ready. He's been a force in parts of this game. He's rushing, bearing down Simon Blais. Simon Blais jumps over him, throws a ball that is caught by Nicolas Leblanc. He goes up the sideline. He is not touched. It is a touchdown. I'm out of 90 songs to reference.
So that was a phenomenal catch by Samuel Leblanc to begin with. So that I was expecting that ball to be an interception. The way he went up for that ball, and it was sort of misplaced. But he got two hands on it, really brought it back in. And as he ran up the sidelines, he made a defender miss, and he was just too fast for everybody else to catch up to him. And now we can actually say that this game is, in fact, over.
Just as Brittany returns, Samuel Leblanc returns to the end zone. His second touchdown of the game in similar fashion, Simon.
Yeah, well, the first one, he squeezed in between the defenders that sort of didn't tackle him, and now he just blazed past someone.
Absolutely. A lot of speed, lots of size on Air Force One. They now are leading 43-27 as time expires. After this convert, we will see 5 plays remaining in a game that is all but over. Simon Blais gets the ball, throws back this time to Nick Lassard, who throws it deep and intercepted by Benji Ziegler. Benji Ziegler getting it. So we saw there the ball trying to get to the back of the end zone, instead intercepted by Zach Ziegler, but it doesn't really make a difference. Sorry, by Benji Ziegler.
The ball was released way too low. The ball was released way too low for it to be back in the end zone. But again, it didn't matter. It was one of those plays where Nicolas knew that guy wouldn't beat everybody on defensive running back, and even if he did,
it would have been.
They're up by 16 with 5 plays left. This game is sadly over. It was a good game, but both teams took too many stupid penalties that took this game away.
And now Mitch Frigenbaum, arms to the side, not happy with the outcome of this game, obviously. Probably not happy with the flow of the game either, with a lot of it being a bit chippier than we all expected. Frigenbaum gets the ball, looks to his left, throws the quick hook, just trying to make it respectable. The throwback, but that's not legal in FPF, so the ball game to play is blown dead.
I'm surprised by how long it took for referees to blow that in.
Just because the referees have never seen it.
They look at it
what
like,
is this?
What are you doing? What, that was behind? Wait, you can't do that.
Ball blown dead, so the play stopped there. And Frigenbaum ready. Still in no huddle. Ball floated over the middle. Zach Ziegler, he's going to make a move to his left, go back to his right, turn around no one, and then be deflated by Nick Lassard.
He's been having a very, very good game, but as you mentioned, that penalty really killed him.
Yeah.
He made probably the best play of the game, and then took the penalty that took that play away and gave Air Force One.
Simon, reflecting upon Division 6D, is it when the ball is snapped with no one in position, including potential referees, but the play was blown in?
I'm not sure what's going on. They should just call the game at this point. If they're gonna act like this, just call the game. It doesn't matter. Like, I know Sigbik knows the game is over, right? There's no point for them to keep playing.
But just finish out the game, and like you're gonna have this on tape for the rest of the time.
Yes.
So I mean,
well, they know the thing is that there's no chance for them to come back. It's mathematically impossible for them to get back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the game should just be call these guys, if they know they're not going to win, just end the game, right?
Yeah, that's fair. The ball thrown deep and intercepted. And if it wasn't over before, it's definitely over now.
Benjamin Reed, it was one of those doesn't matter play, just threw it regardless, doesn't matter.
It was a throw for the sake of throwing. Simo, did you get everything you wanted out of Division 6D? As we talk a little bit about that as we see the presentation of the Commissioner's Trophy by Commissioner Robert Campana.
I really like what happened this season. I was very happy with Division 6 as a whole, Division 6D as a whole. There was a lot of very good teams or a lot of new teams that got their shot. I'm happy to see that both first seeds managed to really run the table and managed to make a great season out of it. The two best teams faced off in the finals. It was a good final overall. There was a few bad penalties that really took this game away from them, but it wasn't penalties that were discussable, whatever. Oh, it should have been a penalty. You said something stupid, you did something stupid, you deserve to be punished for it.
Well, and the penalty on Zach Sigler, at first, both of us were like, well, we didn't see anything, but then we got reports back.
Vous êtes les premiers champions de division 6D Air Force One. Alors, je vous présente un trophée super nouveau avec seulement votre nom dessus. Donc, le chef d'équipe. Tiens, les gars, ouais, prenez-en.
Félicitations aussi à Finals MVP, Nick Lessard.
Félicitations, les gars. Alors, quand vous êtes prêts, je vais prendre une photo d'équipe de vous.
Oh, they're in.
Well, so a bit of miscommunication on our end as we went down to the field, Mike, a little too soon. The team picture being taken. We're going to get to GM Calethris, who will interview the championship MVP, Nick Lessard, after an absolutely monstrous game.
2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. The sort of performance we expected out of him in this game. He was one of the most dominant two-way players.
Félicitations, Nick. Juste quelques questions avant de partir. Selon toi, c'était quoi comme le moment que tu as pensé que vous allez gagner le match?
Quand on a scoré en revenant de la demi, puis le touché juste avant la demi, ça nous a donné un boost d'énergie. Puis en revenant dans la demi, dès qu'on a marqué, je pense que ces 3 premiers jeux, je pense qu'on a closé la game là.
Parfait, merci. Retournez-vous la saison prochaine, soit en printemps ou hiver prochain?
On va en revenir hiver prochain, on va revenir gagner un autre titre.
Félicitations.
Definitely a lot of confidence from Air Force One, and absolutely deservedly so. They beat a great team in Sickpick. They were the best team on the field. For everyone here in our production booth, for Simon Dagenet, I am Pease Del Rees. The final score, of course, I don't remember. A lot for Air Force One, not as much for Sickpick. Congratulations. The Winter 2018 Division 6 champions are Air Force One.